2007, I sold my company and was looking to do something good for society. That's how I went into a lot of the work we did. My son was born in 2006. He will graduate a couple of years from now. If you look in these, and that time my paranoia was, if I, as a successful, wealthy Indian, do not do something for India, I was envisioning a civil war in India by 2020. The gap between haves and have-nots, if you project that. And 2026, we are doing pretty well, right? Now, what happened in between was when problems are growing non-linearly, our solutions cannot grow linearly. The gap will only increase, and that stress will result in some kind of a fracture. So we need our solutions to also grow non-linearly. And that is how a lot of you have Aadhaar. Anybody who's not used UPI in this hall? Okay. Anybody who's not used DigiLocker? Okay. Anybody who's not used Digi Yatra in airports? So, all of this, how do you take something to the scale of 1 billion plus in a country as large and diverse as India again and again and again, right? We did something and then you have to create a word for it. It's called digital public infrastructure. So India has now more than a decade of experience of coming up with non-linear ways of handling problems that are growing non-linearly. Why is this important now? AI is the ultimate non-linear disruptor of this generation. We saw internet when we began, but this is going to be much bigger. When the year my son was born, 2006, if somebody told me that there's actually a career for people who travel and take videos of it and allows others to see, somebody who cooks, takes videos of it and allows others to see, so on and so forth. And these guys will be millionaires, and that will be their profession. I would say, take a hike. But we are the largest YouTube content creator economy in the world, and there's a word for it now, orange economy. And thanks to people like Ashish, that will only grow exponentially. If somebody told me that a youngster, while still in college, to get his pocket money, has become a gig worker who will deliver stuff and get money as much as anybody else would make at entry level, I would say take a hike. Because what do you mean? You'll deliver and make money. So the gig economy, 10 million jobs now, right? Two professions that did not exist when my son was born. The child who's born today, who will graduate in around the time of our Viksit Bharat goal, 2046-47, we don't even know the next 5 professions that are going to come up. And as Manish put it beautifully, education is growing linearly. It caught up with IR 1.0, 2.0, which and rapidly fell behind. How do we have a realistic chance with our demographic of giving them, of training them now for careers that don't even exist? There's only one way, as I see it. That is using the principles of digital public infrastructure here. What do I mean? Currently, while we are doing very well as a country, a lot of people face a lot of severe bottlenecks. One, if you're in some village and if you haven't learned English or Hindi, your prospects of learning, forget earning, your prospects of learning are severely reduced. Two, as we are transitioning to a digital economy, we have seen the benefits of DigiYatra. But a lot of people still live in the world of paper. Why? Three, to find market access, where are jobs, where can I get trained, right, is difficult. Can that be changed? Can I find in around me? You can find pizza around you. You can find cabs around you. Can you find jobs around you? Can you find skills around you, right? So there are these structural bottlenecks like this. Using a DPI example, what does it mean? If there is a way where we collect high quality data, language data, that allows anyone to use it for voice services in Indic language, then anyone can learn anything anywhere. With AI, as my fellow speakers have said, the only gap is motivation. If you're motivated, 20 years ago, if you're passionate about cooking or if you're passionate about music, you would have got slapped by your parents if you want to say that I want to take that as a career, right? Going forward, this will be the norm. Unless you're passionate about engineering, I would advise anybody, do not get into engineering. Do not get into what you're not passionate about, because that may not exist by the time your children graduate. So given all of this, the way India has created a shared capability, one, Aadhaar allows anyone to use it in whatever way, whether you're getting a SIM card, a bank account, etc. By the way, this is not rocket science. This is the reason why we have roads. Somebody builds roads, somebody else builds cars. What is non-linear? The road maker does not care whether you're driving a horse cart, bullock cart, hydrogen, EV, autonomous. Let non-linear scale come. We will take advantage of it, right? That is the philosophy we have been doing for the last 15 years, and that is what we will do in the next 15 years. How do we prepare our children? The answer is, we cannot prepare them. The markets will ask specific skills. At that point, we give them the basic competencies, and the human competencies and sensitivities are much more important, and NEP is doing a good job of that. The child will figure out what they're good in, what they're motivated to, and they'll have all facilities around them to learn. There will be local experts. Like the way IT industry did not exist 4 decades ago, right? Then you had Apple and AppTech and all of these guys come and set it up. We will find, thanks to people like organizations like ICT, many small organizations, institutes, entrepreneurs who will set this up. We need to trust that the market will innovate for the industry needs by finishing that and providing skilling. If I went somewhere and got a skilling course on editing, how do I know it's genuine? So you need to reduce the cost of trust in the digital world, in voice, in Indic AI, in the world of AI. All of this can happen much easily. And by the way, this is already happening. I don't have time to go into the details. I'm not talking science fiction, right? And it is not going to be science fiction when I end by saying that in 2025, when Rajni from Barabanki is dreaming of doing research on biothermal something, she will do it in Marathi by talking to some agent who will do the best research, because by then our data centers and AI would have progressed to the level of Nobel scientists. So imagine you have a data center full of Nobel scientists, right? What can Rajni do with her? We cannot even begin to, cannot even imagine now. But we have to have the belief that working backwards from those specific stories like a Rajni, like a 72-year-old Amma, who's sharing a general wisdom and also making money, right? If you start with those use cases and work back and use the philosophy of create roads, technology will come. And what's the equivalent of roads for establishing trust, verifiable credentials? The equivalent of allowing anyone to learn, voice, Indic AI. All of these are being built as infrastructure. Blue dot. You can find a pizza, you can find a car, can you find a job? A girl child has to go and search for scholarship. Why? Can the scholarship find the girl child? All possible, all happening, right? Wow. This is being built as infrastructure so that anyone can innovate on top and build their apps, and not as thing. That, I think, is also
not even future, it's happening.
Yeah, and also somewhere how 2026 India is different from 2009 when we started working on Aadhaar, right? The world is looking up to India to see how India handles it, because when India will finally solve it, for a country of 1.5 billion, the world will learn from it and reapply in their world. I think that is what is exciting for me.